our country has no ability to fight in the Pacific in the coming war.
Yeah, even if you throw money, $1 trillion into shipbuilding, it will take years for them to come online. And the ship takes 2-3 years at the most. Those ships are going to come out too late, right? So how do you counter the hundreds to thousands of Chinese ships that are going to build? And it's by autonomous vessels, right? Like do what they do.
Paul Lwin is the co-founder and CEO of HavocAI, a defense tech startup building autonomous maritime systems for the U.S. military. A former EA-6B and EA-18G weapons systems officer, he leads the development of scalable unmanned surface vessels designed to operate in swarms and redefine naval operations.
We think 90% of the DoD's use cases can be fulfilled by the rampages.
This new wave of people that are just like building off of venture money that's not being asked for. That's the mega trend of the defense industry right now.
Yeah.
Is it going to work? Is the government going to actually buy this stuff?
Probably shouldn't say this. I'm going to get in trouble. But like,
Paul, welcome. Thanks for coming down. I'm
Thanks
sure you
for having me.
probably have a bunch of other great meetings down here in the great city of the District of Columbia or whatever. Yeah. So, there's a lot of government here, as people know. So let's just start. I think, a lot of people haven't met your company yet, and that is my audience, because a lot of the audience to this podcast is not even in defense.
Yeah.
So let's really dumb it down for them and tell them all what you do.
Yeah, so we're Havoc AI. What we do is build essentially robotic boats, and then we make them autonomous and collaborative. So autonomous as in, you're not remote controlling the boats. You're more humans are on the loop.
Okay.
And then collaborative as in they work together with each other and with the humans to provide some kind of effect.
Jack, let me get one of these boats up. Pull it up. I gotta see this shit. I mean, I actually know what it looks like, obviously, but I need.
No, that's an. Yeah, go to HavocAI.com. Oh, fight tonight. Yeah.
Fight tonight. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, man, you're saber rattling.
Yeah.
Dude, you ready to fight? Bro, if there's a fight, I'm running.
Well, you could use one of these boats.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so hold on. That's a good view. So this is an overhead shot of all your boats on the... Where is this?
That picture's in San Diego. We were doing an exercise there a few months ago.
Okay, so let's go down. Let's get a close-up on one of these. I want to see that they're... Oh, shit. Oh, here we go. That was a close-up.
Yeah, in the middle there.
Yeah, so the middle. Yeah, zoom in on that. All right, perfect. So talk to me about this. So it's very pointy.
Yeah. So we worked with a boat builder to figure out, hey, how can we build a small boat, 14-foot, that can survive the Pacific, right? So it's pointy because it pierces the waves, and it helps with efficiency. Yeah. And then if you look at it, it looks goofy on the top, the little top bubble. We call it the top hat. That's because it's designed to be self-righting. So if you flip over, it'll flip back. Depending on how much weight you have, it might take a few minutes, but that's cool. The only way you're going to survive in the Pacific, right? The waves are huge. No matter how big you are, you got to be able to flip back if you're an autonomous boat.
Oh, like when you're out in the middle of the Pacific?
Of the Pacific, yeah, right.
And there's it's not just flat the whole time?
No, it's not a lake.
No. Oh, okay. What about what is that big trash pile in the Pacific?
Oh, the garbage patch.
Is that still for real? Is that actually real?
I think it is, right? I mean, let's Google that.
Let's see how big that is. I don't know. This is not really. We're going off course here for a second, but this came to my mind. So I wanted to.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
This is still real, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Right. They've taken satellite pictures of it and stuff. So
that is really gross.
It is
that we have this.
Yeah.
We're all out here working on building weapons and shit to kill each other. we got these garbage patches out there. Humans are just, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
To be fair, one of the use cases people have talked to us about these boats, it's to clean that up, right? And just to do more things in the ocean. If you think about it, the vessels cost $100,000.
Yeah.
So you could buy hundreds of these and then just, environmental monitoring or even just cleaning things up.
For real. I agree. Okay, go. So you got the dual use.
We do.
Go back to, having dual use would be awesome. I don't have that. No, we're just like a gun, it's a weapon.
Yep.
It's tough. But whatever. We're getting through it. Okay, so we've got. Where's the explosives go?
So it's got 300 pounds of payload. So you can put it all the way inside. There's a payload bay, in the aft of the boat there. We can also put explosives in the front, right?
Okay.
It's a ship, so it's a boat, so we can. It's hollow up there.
Have you done any tests where you kamikaze something?
We have not. So, you could get in trouble very quickly, but we've started talking to customers that want to do it, like EOD wants to just put explosive, instrument it, and see what kind of effect they'll have. I think international customers have started talking about it. Their rules are obviously more relaxed than here.
Oh, okay. I wonder if is that actually true, you think? Like international customers?
From our viewpoint, right, we've got countries in the Pacific, obviously very relevant, that are like, hey, we want to see how it blows up, and so they'll blow up. Here, obviously the one thing the Coast Guard told us was don't blow anything up and don't hit anything. So we abide by that. When
you work with, so obviously this is a boat, and that's usually like the territory of the Navy, but I'm sure you probably work with multiple branches of the service, or more than just the Navy's interested in this.
Yeah, so the Army actually used to own more boats than the Navy until a few years ago. They divested because of the focus on the Middle East.
Yeah.
But now with the Pacific becoming focus again, the Army, especially Army watercraft, is interested. So we worked with the Army and Army Futures Command.
Oh, cool.
In Hawaii to show how you can use these vessels. And the cool thing that came out was they actually wrote a report on us that talked about, hey, there are 100 Army use cases right now for those 14-foot vessels, and they said we can use them now.
So one thing I'm trying to figure out is I've noticed a lot of the USV companies are talking about making bigger boats.
Yeah.
Why?
So obviously to go farther, faster, right? So these boats, the 14-foot boats, they're solar powered. So they could go thousands of miles, but they're going to crawl, right, over weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a 100-foot vessel, that can go 30.
Well, this is solar powered, and it can flip back.
Exactly.
So it can always get there.
It can always get there. It'll just be slow, right? So you're not going to get there in like a few days. It'll take a few weeks.
Yeah.
Right. The bigger boats are for that reason, right? Carry a lot more things. Obviously, carry weapons.
Okay, but the question remains then. So if you have but there's like a lot of use cases for the small boat.
They are.
So why move up market? Just be like, okay, some other company will do that. I'm good.
Oh, I think we're software focused, right?
Okay.
To us, when we view the vessel, the actual boat or ship, as just a component, right?
Okay.
So it is 5% of the component of the whole tech stack. So just like we can put a bigger motor or a faster motor, it's the same thing, right? So from the beginning, we wanted to abstract away the boat. We didn't want to be boat builders, and so that's why we're building bigger boats now.
Who wants to be a boat builder? That sounds horrible.
It's fun, right? So we work with a lot of boat builders, but it requires a lot of knowledge.
I was just kidding. Yeah. It's very difficult, is what I meant.
Is.
Yeah, and so that's not something that I think a lot of the defense tech companies are good at. Yeah.
No, and tech, you can't tech your way out of aluminum, right? So we do composite boats, so there's a lot of tech involved in composite. But if you think about welding is a human skill, right?
Yeah.
That it's just require human labors. Obviously people are working on automating that, but that's the problem that a lot of these companies are going to have, thinking they can tech their way into welding giant ships.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot going on. Yeah, because I saw like people talking about 150-foot boats. It's like, what are you doing with this? Is it like a logistics thing, or?
Yeah, it's logistics, and then
I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna ram what do you call your boat?
Rampage.
We're gonna rampage right into one of these things.
That's exactly right. Or 3 or 4 rampages, and that's why we think 90% of the DoD's use cases can be fulfilled by the rampages.
That's what I'm saying. Because I actually think they're all like maybe just trying to like say, let's use this for logistics. That's why they want to do the big boats or something, or put more payloads on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bigger payloads. But the problem is that don't those just all get crushed by the rampages? So you're just gonna have these stupid big dumb boats out there. That's why I don't really get. Like, have they war gamed this?
I think they have. Obviously, you and I are read into it. From our experience operating, at this point, 42 of these. You're absolutely right.
We need to get like a war gamer on the podcast.
Yeah, you do. I think we can help with that.
I feel like there's some shenanigans
Yeah.
I want to see what these war game rules are because
Yeah.
I think someone's not doing this right. They're like, in the war game simulation, what we found is we're going to make some big, giant sitting ducks in the water.
You just hit it, and I think they know that, right?
They do know it.
Well, I think,
But they still want to buy it.
Yeah, I think that's half and half. It's hard for people who've always incorporated, say, missiles onto ships to see, hey, how can you use a smaller one? Because people are resistant to change.
I know, but
right?
everything's changing.
It
and
is.
I think that this is one of the things that's very hard to model for the traditional war gamers, I think.
Exactly. Well, you just hit it.
It's very hard. And so, I'm not ripping on them. I empathize, we all have a country to save here and defend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I think with us, at first they'll be like, oh, these 14-foot boats are too small. And then they'll see 10 of them doing something. And then they'll be like, okay, I get it.
Exactly.
I get
Because
what
they're
you
coordinated, the software collaborates, right? It's all interconnected. You have your own, version of Lattice, basically.
We do. We have our own command and control system.
Yeah.
Just because we obviously didn't have access to Lattice or common control station. So and those are not designed to do one human operating hundreds to thousands.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to make sure we could do that.
No, you got to have your own command and control.
Exactly.
You got to boost the valuation.
Exactly.
If you don't have your own C2, how can you justify billions of dollars of valuation? Obviously. Actually, we need to throw a C2 up on our website.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah,
we can help you with that.
Yeah.
We'll
just say we have it.
Yeah,
that's called marketing first.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like all of our products are connected by a super lattice called super lattice.
We'll work on that together. The super lattice.
Yeah, and obviously, if you buy a Bullfrog or a Rampage, they talk via super lattice.
Yes. What is super lattice? We're not quite sure.
We can't use this other lattices though. Yeah. So actually, on a serious note, we with our product with the remote weapon station, we do the software for the aiming.
Yeah.
But we don't actually do the connectivity layer yet.
Yeah.
Or really. Maybe we don't want to because it's very crowded.
Yeah.
So we'd happily integrate with what you got.
No,
That'd be
and
cool.
to be honest, we integrate with Lattice.
Exactly, yeah.
And a lot of other government C2 systems. I think you have to, right?
Yeah, we got FAD C2. FAD C2.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. But
Yeah.
It's not a fad anymore.
No.
That's what I say to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so what got you into defense?
So I'm former military. So
me too. Nice. Okay, which one?
I was Navy.
Oh, no, okay, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Are you serious? You were really?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was a nuclear engineer.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I worked on the naval reactors, it's called, down here in the Navy Yard. In the Navy Yard, yeah.
Yeah.
And worked on the Virginia class submarines.
Okay.
The reactor protection systems.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't the best electrical engineer, but they liked me.
Good enough, right?
Good enough.
It's just nuclear reactors. You don't need to be good.
No, I think I was probably good.
Okay.
It's just a long time ago, you know? Okay, so what were you a SWO? Were you
No,
a
I was
SEAL or something?
Wizzo, so weapon system operator, so backseater, Goose in Top Gun.
You were like a pilot.
Backseater, yeah.
Backseater.
Yeah. And so I did that. I flew a Prowler.
I like you said Goose in Top Gun. Like you presume that I've seen it.
Oh,
Which I have.
I was about to
But
say.
you just went for it, though. You went for it. You just assume everyone's seen it.
Well, if you're in the Navy, right? It's like the best Navy movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, Top Gun Maverick, the sequel, pretty much saved the movie industry during COVID.
Right?
It was Tom Cruise, national treasure.
Yeah. And the funny thing is what just happened this weekend, right? So
Oh,
it's
dude. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, what's your take on what happened?
There's room for traditional legacy systems still, right? But I think, what we shouldn't take away from that is, hey, we can just rely on B-2s and F-35s and, growlers and that it work in the Pacific. Warfare is changing. And we look at Ukraine, the Red Seas.
Oh, you still need the fighter jets.
You
and
do.
stuff,
You will
and the
always,
bombers.
right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was saying otherwise. I mean, maybe some people were being bombastic about it.
Yeah.
But it's obvious those things fly so high and fast and have huge missiles.
Yeah.
That's different than a small drone.
Exactly.
This is more like a new rifle.
Yeah.
Like a new type of paradigm on the ground war.
Yeah. Well, you look at Ukraine, right? Both sides are using those and then they're
Yeah.
doing things with it. So.
Yeah, I mean they're also probably scrambling fighter jets and doing bombing runs, but you just hear about it. You hear about it less.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Anyway, so the Iran Israel, we're in. It's still kind of live updates right now. So this will air much later. The conflict, people will there'll be much more news that has happened since when this goes off. But while we're here chatting about it, I was following it over the weekend. Wild shit, man.
Yeah.
Wild shit.
Yeah.
Like, I guess this kind of reminds us of like the 6-day war they had in the 70s or something. That's what Trump was saying.
The 12-day war now.
Not 12-day war, 6-day war. We'll see how many days of it actually goes. It's still, I guess, maybe it's still developing. The story is still developing. Yeah. But not a lot of water in that encounter though.
No, but if it had escalated and they had gone and shut down the strait, it would become problematic, right? 25% of oil comes through there.
Oh yeah, they do shut down the Strait of Hormuz. The rampages might have something to say about that.
Oh, we've got 42. We offer to send it. Completely serious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually can shut down the strait.
No,
because we would just ignore it. They'd be like, okay, we've declared it shut down, and then we're like, no, we're still going to use it.
Yeah, it was.
But they could what was that barge that got stuck in the Suez?
In the canal, yeah.
Oh, the Evergreen, or what was that? Something. Anyways, that they could do something like that. They could block the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, they could mine it, right?
Which is what they or mine it, or they could say mining. Actually, do you have a good use case on that?
We do. Right.
You can demine stuff. Right?
We could put payloads on, and then even put our autonomy on current mine, what are called like mine countermeasure ships. Think about it. Right now they're manned, so someone has to get close to the mines. But if we put our autonomy kit on it, you could be 1,000 miles away. And what if you hit a mine? Right, you just blow up a boat. Right? And no people, and that's the use case for autonomy. That's right. Why unmanned is that remove the humans from those dangerous situations.
Yeah, honestly, the battlefield is not really going to have a lot of humans on it.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just too dangerous.
Yeah.
They pretty much you have to hide underground from drones,
which is what's happening. Right?
You just don't. You're not going to have soldier on soldier shooting as much because the robots are so deadly that they. Yeah. So that's why I always see I think the most of the battlefield will be all robotic. Pretty much all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if people agree with me necessarily in the industry or the government, but I mean, it just seems like it's going to go that way.
I think so.
What are you going to sit out there and around all these drones?
Yeah.
Sounds crazy.
No, yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? And so what we are focused on is human-machine teaming, right? Because at the end of the day,
Yeah, but the humans are going to be back in in the U.S.
Exactly.
Driving these from Starlink or something.
Exactly. So that's why every boat has a Starlink. Every boat has a mesh radio, and you have to think through these concepts of how does a human from thousands of miles away do things with autonomous assets, like robots.
That's pretty hard because they need good visuals.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. You need to sense the environment. You need to act autonomously, but you also need the human in the on the loop.
Decide on the engagement.
Exactly.
What are the cameras you use on that thing?
Oh, we actually just use an off-the-shelf Z2i.
Yeah.
Oh? Yeah.
Do you need some does it 360? Is it rotate?
It's not 360. We're working on putting a 360 camera. Right now it just faces
Bro,
forward.
just say it's 360, dog.
Yeah, it's 360. It's got super AI on it.
You're like a very honest entrepreneur.
Hey, we build real things.
No, I know, of course. No, we do too. That's why we're always trying to get into competitions and demos.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to be evaluated based on our sales ability.
Exactly.
We want to be evaluated based on our product.
Yeah, I think we both agree. I agree with you there. That's why we do. We've put 10,000 hours on the water in the last year or less.
Yeah, we always are. I don't know. You guys should do this too, but we're going to take a quick aside here on government procurement process. Our favorite topic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to get good.
I think that the government should do more competitions that end in a winner that ends in a contract.
Yeah.
Because that way it's a lot fairer for new entrants, like people like ACS or Havoc.
Yeah.
Because all we can do is show our product.
Yeah.
But we don't have the full entrenched lobbying distribution muscle might of a prime.
Yeah.
And so more competitions would definitely be helpful.
I agree, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be for 5 minutes, right? Do it for a day or two, and then keep score, right? Make it an actual war game, right?
Yeah.
And then see what systems hold up. Put jammers out there if you're worried about how it does in the deny comms environment, right? Right now we're judging through PowerPoint slides and lobbying and
I've been on the receiving end of this from competitor sales teams, which is we'll even win a competition, but they'll be like, they're too small though to really fulfill it. Just let us build what they've built. Give us like a year on that, and then obviously we're a much bigger, more funded company, so we'll be you're a much better partner.
Yeah,
that's like that's how you sell around losing the demo. When you lose the competition, that's the next step.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, no, bro. We're actually going to have all of that, but and better
and move faster, right? Yeah,
and they have none of it.
No,
but that's what they do.
Yeah,
it's actually really smart. I would do the same thing.
Yeah,
I would do the same thing. I'd be
like, you going to do the same thing?
I mean, I guess before I started entrepreneurship, I was a salesperson. So I would do that kind of shit. I guess. Yeah. Can't trust this company.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're seeing it change, though. I think, some of our government customers, I think they're willing to accept more risk and willing to
of working with a smaller business.
Exactly. Right.
I think we are seeing that change.
Yeah, I think so.
Is the change happening fast enough? Maybe. It depends how much funding you have and runway you have.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. I think for the first time, they've started realizing what a startup cycle is like, with VC funding and what that looks like. I think they're more willing to help and play the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So how big is the team right now?
70 people. We went from 20 people to 70 in the last 3 months.
Oh, wow. So you don't know all their names anymore?
No. I try to. I think I know most of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they all like pretty much up? Where's the office? The HQ?
So Rhode Island is the main facility, and then Boston, we have a software site there, and then we actually started a DC office just at a industrial site here.
Oh, cool. Okay,
yeah.
little co-working here.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your start your lobbying game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we invested in a lot like that congressional stuff pretty early.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to.
You do, right? Yeah.
It's just how they do the procurement.
Yeah.
Like we talk about how this is all like changing, but at the end of the day, like Congress still like writes the checks.
Yes.
So so you can change the low level policies all you want, but the source isn't changing.
No, but even on their end, right, what we've done, I'm sure you've done it too. So I've done 46 live demos for senators and reps where they actually got to C2 5 to 10 vessels. I think that's changing the game. Just with the reconciliation bill, we've had calls from on the Hill, just asking our take on how things will play out. And so I'm optimistic because of that, right? I think
Hey, when they call you next time, can you say bye?
Yeah, bye.
And when they call me, I'll be like, yeah, you gotta get these.
Well, let's just package something up together.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. When they call you, can you say, thanks, bro?
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. That we do demos with Congress too. Like we had Judge Carter out to the range, and he shot the he shot the drones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do it. You got to get them playing with it.
Oh, yeah.
Hands on it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's abstract, right?
Yeah.
And,
they have deck because they're getting pitched decks all the time, too.
100%.
All the time.
Yeah.
Just the problem is getting them on the calendar to get them out there. But I mean, you got a great team to help you with that.
We do, yeah. So,
exactly. Yeah. Some of them are just here watching right now, actually.
Yeah. Making sure I don't say anything weird.
Well, if we did, don't worry about
we'll
that.
We'll edit it, all right?
Yeah, that's what we tell everyone we'll edit it, but we never actually do. We're like, we're going to totally edit it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Dhruva's calling me. He's been on the podcast twice.
He's a friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Here, hold on, let's see. Hey, Dhruva. Wait, Dhruva. We're on a podcast right now with Havoc, with Paul from Havoc, so I gotta go, but
all right, later.
All right. I wanted to tell him though. That's good. So he's been on twice. I want to start having like repeat guests so we can follow your journey.
Oh yeah, I'll come back anytime.
Yeah, no, we'll because you'll come on now. You'll tell us where you're at with the business. I'll ask those questions soon, and then next 6 months from now, it's totally different and change up 150 employees. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
follow your life. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about your personal life too while we're at it.
I've got 2 kids, so 7-month-old baby. So
how old are their kids?
5-year-old boy and a 7-month-old girl.
5 and 7.
Yeah.
So 5 years old and 7 months old.
7-month-old, yeah.
So we went like a pretty large gap there.
Yeah.
Why?
Just the way it worked out.
Let's get personal.
Yeah. My wife will kill me. Hopefully, she probably doesn't listen to this.
She might now.
Yeah.
Her ears are burning.
Yeah, I
know. Okay, cool. So that gap. So they're not going to have like high school together. You know that?
No, they're not. Yeah.
They can't team up.
No, we will. Well, the good thing is, exactly right. Yeah.
But I think it's actually like you wanted to go through like diapers again. and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why people usually have them like right next to each other.
I know. Yeah. Well, we wanted to do that, but we also wanted a second one so they could entertain each
I
other.
know,
Just because
That's what everyone says.
yeah, and it never works out.
That's, that's so funny. Okay, so 2 kids, married, and then how many co-founders?
The 2 others, so 3 of us. One is actually a nuclear SWO from
nice.
the Navy. Yeah.
Okay, I wonder what years were they in the Navy?
He graduated 06 from college, so probably 07 through like 12.
I was 08 to 13.
Oh, okay.
So he probably came. I could pull his test scores.
Yeah.
He came.
Let's
through,
do it. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I could actually get his test scores.
Let's
for
do
you.
it. Yeah, his name's Joseph Turner. So,
Okay,
and then I think you should go back and edit and tell everyone his test scores.
Yeah, we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I got to reach out to the Naval Reactors people, but I think they'll give them to me.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, he would have come. So the way our office worked is like those guys like that would come through our office to like learn how to like do. It was like extra training. We gave training to them. Yeah. Like I taught the class on circuit breakers.
Yeah.
Very exciting class.
Yeah.
So he might have been in my class actually.
I'll have to ask him. Yeah.
Talking about circuit breakers. Yeah, maybe actually on a nuclear or on the aircraft carriers, which he was on.
He was, yeah.
Huge circuit breakers.
Yeah.
Like they're, we're talking like I don't even remember the numbers, but massive circuit breakers. Like one time, this like guy, I forget this enlisted guy. Oh no, I was like there was an enlisted guy trying to rack out a breaker, which was like trying to rack it out, and the energized panel behind it.
Yeah.
And like a chief was like, "Step aside, son. Let me show you how this is done." And like reaches back there and tries to grab it and vaporized. Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
The funny thing is on the aviation side, when we're on the carriers, we break all kind of rules, right? Like daisy chaining things, outlets, and then even you're not supposed to have fridge. But we all had fridges in our room, right?
So that's not safe.
No, I know. Because we're like, what do you mean? It's fine. And, that's funny, right? Like, it's a nuclear carrier.
Yeah. So, like, this guy just got incinerated off the face of the earth. Yeah. It was wild. And, like, so that was obviously, as someone who owned the circuit breaker manuals, we had to update a lot of the safety procedures. Yeah. Because, like, you shouldn't obviously be trying to put your hand in an energized panel.
Yeah.
But I think what happened probably was like, if you're a chief and like you've been doing this for 20, 30 years and you're like the experienced one, you wanted to show this kid. Yeah. You like got a little lackadaisical with the procedures or something. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, this is like many, many, many years ago. Yeah. So I might even be like recounting the story incorrectly. No, it's roughly that though. Yeah. It's roughly that. Crazy.
Yeah. And so we make electric boats, right? So we're always
that's not going to happen.
No, we're always careful, right, with sockets and batteries.
Do you have no? Actually, this is actually a really good point. Now that we're talking about safety procedures, I was looking through because we have a gun, like, and I don't want to have any employees get shot. Yeah, and we're testing it all the time. So we have like all these safety manuals that we've written internally. Yeah, and I'm sure you probably have that too.
Yeah,
it's a deadly boat.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have like a manuals you give to the customers?
We try to minimize this, right? So we do a lot of just fail safes, just to make sure, and making sure that they can't accidentally, close the socket on the high voltage batteries and things like that. I think, and then we give them training to make sure, part of our things is thousands of these out there, so your manuals can't be too long, right? They're never going to read it, and so we try to just make sure that we've discovered all those safety issues.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 co-founders, and you've raised some capital, right?
Yeah, we did this. Seed. We're doing Series A right now.
Okay. Yeah. Sweet. Just send me the deck, obviously. Seed and then A. So.
Do you want me to pitch it to you right now and see if you will lead?
Actually, we should test your pitch. I'm a pretty good fundraiser. I can help you hone.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I'll take you up on that.
Actually, what is the on your pitch deck? You don't have to show it to me right now, but what is the problem statement? What's problem are you solving?
The simplest problem is China, right? So if you think about it, China can outbuild us in ships.
Yeah, the problem is
that do it.
Yeah, the problem. Yeah, I think that's your problem statement. It's like. Our country has no ability to fight in the Pacific in the coming war. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And we're not, in our industry and our government are doing nothing about it. Yeah. And you have to save everyone. You're the savior.
Yes, with I am the
That's pretty much, basically.
No, so I do tell them I go through the China scenario, right? And to talk about, even if you throw money, $1 trillion into shipbuilding, shipyards it'll take years for them to come online, and the ship takes 2-3 years at the most. So it's 2025. 2027, 2 years away, those ships are gonna come out too late, right? So how do you counter the hundreds to thousands of Chinese ships that are going to build? And it's by autonomous vessels, right? Like do what they do.
That's the problem in the solution. And then I think the next slide is traction.
Yeah.
Obviously, then you should be like, then we're crushing it.
Yeah.
And then pretty much then you want to get them to the point where they're making a bet, and the bet is if the government is actually going to buy a ton of these boats or not. Yeah. That's at the end of the day. That's what they're trying to make an assessment of. Yeah. And they're all gambling. Yeah. So, that's it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
And so it's easy to convince them of that right now, right? If you think about the reconciliation bill, there is 1.8 billion for small USVs and 1.5 for small USVs and 2.1 for medium USVs, right? So it's a congressionally mandated TAM. Yep. Right, so that money has to be spent in the next year. So it's not like, will there be money for USVs? Right, there is money in the billions.
It's there, and you need to capture some of it. Yeah. So you need to close this round.
I do.
Get out there.
I know.
What are you doing on this podcast?
I know. Well, a lot of them listen to this, so that's what I'm doing here.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, there's a huge amount of money out there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for my pitch, if you want to know how mine works, not that you asked.
No,
let's do it anyway.
Let's do it.
Problem is there is no current effective countermeasure for the drone, but our industry and government thinks they have them. That's the scary part. That's what I hammer to investors.
Yeah.
Is that they think they have microwaves in electronic warfare and that they're safe with a magical force field that we've created. And, they're all wrong. Yeah. That's the problem. I pretty much just linger on the problem for 30 minutes. I don't even leave the problem statement. And then the investor's like, this guy's really obsessed with this problem. So we're fucked. Yeah. It's over. It's already over. Yeah. And I think that's really powerful. Seems to be working really well. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So that's why I like.
Well, can I lead your Series B with $2?
No. Yeah. But I think that gets people excited. I think always starting with the problem. I never liked doing that as a product manager. I hated that way of before we even talk about what we're building, let's start with the problem. But I think in the investor pitch world, it's great. In the product world, I don't like that. Yeah. I reject that notion. As an engineer myself, I hate just react to user stories and tell me the problem.
Oh, no. User stories, okay. I hate requirements, right? Yeah. Anytime someone says requirements, I just leave the room.
I know. Me too. I'm like you.
Yeah. What? What does that even mean?
Yeah. Requirement for what? This is a brand new product.
Yeah. Who has a requirement for, autonomous boats? That hasn't been written. We're trying to help write it.
Exactly. Yeah. So and they always talk about in the government, I don't even notice, they always talk about capabilities. Yeah. I have to do it too because I'm in the game, but I hate that term, capabilities. It kind of degrades for me at least. I feel like it makes me into a contractor instead of I'm just providing capabilities. Yeah. But I like to think of myself more as a product artist, providing a new product. Yeah. But the way they talk, it's requirements and capabilities, and you're my contractor. Yeah. That's why they call it defense contracting. Yeah. I mean, it's aptly named. Yeah. But it's not as fun. No. I wish it were more product focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's changing, right? I think, they're starting to adopt our vernacular, right? In defense or in startups and understanding it. So, as long as they go away from writing crazy requirements and then sticking by it, right? Because at the end of the day, you could follow all 100 requirements and still not build the product that's actually solving a problem.
I feel like sometimes they create a bunch of requirements that are because they want to pick a different vendor and they don't want to get sued. They're like, well, we had these requirements here and this vendor didn't meet those, so we have to go with this other one, and then they just do it. That's the way. Yeah. Which I think is probably an artifact of just they don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Which, who wants to get sued? That would
No,
suck.
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, this all could be totally made up too. I have no idea how it works.
I don't think anyone does, right? That's the it's defense acquisition, right? Like we're all trying to figure it out.
We've had some, exactly. It's very Byzantine, arcane. We actually sometimes get asked to get fact checked because like I just literally just probably made that up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's check.
Well, no, it's not, this one's not able to be fact checked, but it's the disclaimer with the audience of like, this is an entertainment podcast.
Yeah.
It's for entertainment in the defense industry, which is it's a very dry industry.
It is.
And rightfully so, because it's obviously, it's an industry that, I mean, obviously what it's doing is very serious.
Yeah.
So to do a little bit of like keep it a little light,
Yeah.
For the listeners, I think is actually very helpful.
Yeah.
Because the topic it's intense.
Oh, it is, right?
Yeah,
It's sad, right? At the end of the day.
Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's very, like we're running ships into other ships, we're drones into people. Like it is, it's one of the, so that's why like, I'm not like trying to make light of it. I'm not being flippant about it, but I'm just trying to make it more approachable for like people to like understand what we're doing in the industry. That's the goal of it. So having Havoc on is amazing because we've been following you guys since we started the podcast. You were like on my dream wish list.
Oh, really? You should have just reached out.
Oh yeah. I wanted to like get a little bit more like
Make
brand
sure
for it. No,
real.
I want no, not you. I was afraid. I thought you were gonna reject me.
Oh no.
No. So I waited. I wanted to get some more episodes under our belt.
Yeah.
Show you that this wasn't total bullshit.
No.
Then we're bowing your presence, dog.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I do agree with you, right? To help educate people, right? Even people that have no ties to the military about what is going on. And the exciting things that you're doing, we're doing, and there's a lot of other startups, right, trying to solve these problems.
Yeah, and they're all very serious problems. But I do, and that's what I like about doing this is that we get to have like you on, who is like really up and coming, dominating the USV market, which is a very new market. Yeah. And then there's like, obviously, you still need all this other stuff like electronic warfare, and then like the drones. And then, new radar systems, new ISR systems in general. And so, like, all of these different categories are going through a product revolution right now.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, fun to bring different people on that's building in each of those categories.
Yeah.
And let them just talk their book.
No, exactly. You talk about EW, right? So I'm a proud EW guy. Now, like, the companies that are working with software-defined radios and just writing software algorithms and incorporating now, AI and foundational models into it. The Prowler looks like it was like a 300-year-old system compared to like what these companies are doing now.
I know.
It's just mind-blowing, right? Like you can't even like wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, it's all going through like a product revolution right now. And the trends I'm seeing is like the big primes, they're used to just building everything where they never lose any money because it's contracted.
Yeah.
So this new wave of people that are just like building off of venture money.
Yeah.
And just building a bunch of shit that's not being asked for.
Yeah.
That's the mega trend.
Yeah.
Of the defense industry right now.
Yeah.
And so then the only question then becomes, is it going to work? Is the government going to actually buy this stuff?
Yeah.
Which, obviously, since we're putting our lives into this, we believe they will.
Yeah. Not just our lives, right? All of our teams who've joined us, right? So I think, and it's kind of cool to see because, you kind of get in like the valley of that talk, you get discouraged and you're like, well, we can never solve this. And people are like, oh, it's so hard to do, government acquisition and defense. And you're like, just that statement alone is sad, right? If that's true, then we're just right? Like
I know. I mean, it keeps me up at night for sure. Because like, we have we have a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur kind of sucks sometimes,
Yes.
It's like a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but that's the trend. I mean, what remains to be seen, because like, I don't know about you, but I've seen some large, well-funded companies in the space, like, not have that many contracts yet, but they have lots of pending contracts.
Yes.
And that's what the investors are betting on too.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to see how it plays out. But the government's under no obligation to work with anyone on anything.
No.
I mean, technically speaking, if you are the president, you can just be like, I'm not going to do any of this.
No. Right.
I'm not,
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. I do think that it's actually a very great market overall. I'm just like presenting the bear case if there was one. Yeah. But obviously, I think that it's all up and to the right. and like they are changing and buying stuff.
Yeah,
But-
I think
but it's,
so. Yeah.
I definitely spend a lot of time asking myself though, just to like make sure I'm not drinking my own Kool-Aid.
I know.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like, is this
Yeah.
a big market that's
Yeah.
happening? You know,
Yeah. I mean, every 5 minutes, right? I'm like, it's like, is this gonna
I'm
work?
giving people a
Like,
real window into like my paranoia as an
I know.
entrepreneur. I'm like one of the most paranoid.
Yeah. Well, even, like we have 42 boats everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And so I like right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, are those 42 boats okay? Like, should
Yeah.
I check my phone,
Yeah.
And so like, and then that's 70 teammates, right? To make sure, 20 of them are on the water right now testing. And so I think like it is crazy, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
being in the Navy, I'm sure you've led people,
Yeah.
but here it's different, right? And then you got investors.
Who do you think has more anxiety, me or you?
I think we're probably equal.
Yeah. Shit, bro. I'm sorry for you then.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I also have a 7-month-old baby, so my
yeah.
sleep is,
I have a 3-year-old.
Oh, so you're there too.
But who? But you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's different. But like, who on of the founding team? Who carries most of the anxiety? Is it you, or do you do the fundraising? Who's the
I do the
who's the leader?
fundraising,
Who's like
so-
who's the point person?
I'm the CEO, so I do the fundraising, and then I think we all. The good thing about 3 people is we kind of spread it out evenly. So
yeah, but like we have but there's always an alpha.
yeah.
This is the apex predator, right? Okay.
Or the person that gets blamed, I guess it's
Exactly.
me. So.
Yeah, the person that gets blamed.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that naturally we carry the most anxiety
Yeah.
because of that. Because like we're the ones, when it's all on the line, the money's coming in,
Yeah.
it's us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, I think, I don't know, how much you follow like Emerald Paparo, but recently he talked about, assuming risk as leaders. What he's talking about is like innovation. And he was like, yeah, I'm assuming the risk, right?
Yeah.
So that people can go buy, these innovative things. I think that's what we do as founders, right? It's like, we just assume risk, right? I make decisions.
Yeah, we're assuming
yeah.
the risk.
Yeah, so that people can go execute.
We assumed the risk that people would want a turret that shot drones.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it worked out. But
Yeah.
like that's a risk. There's no when we're doing stuff, there's no requirements.
No.
And that's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Obviously, because if there's no requirements, then the other competitor, the big primes aren't making it.
No.
So that's the alpha.
Yeah.
So investors, get your alpha.
Yes.
It's right here.
Right here.
Right here. The 2 best companies.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see a world where like companies like mine and yours and like, I don't know, a couple other like the really promising products like all kind of roll up into another like blue halo?
Yes.
I mean, it might be like
Yeah.
to get bigger,
Yeah.
bigger, faster.
I agree. It's one of our approaches, partnership. We've talked on the
Yeah.
serious business front too. But even with other USV companies, we're starting to partner, and you'll see in the next few months that we're going to partner with our competitors to solve this problem, right? Which is really exciting. There are a few competitors that are like, nope, we will capture the whole market by ourselves. We built the best things. They're going to go do their own thing. But in general, the rest of us are going to work together. We're going to work with people, building payloads and phenomenal weapon systems.
Yeah.
Put them on the boat and actually deliver, products that are end-to-end.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll be able to deliver you an on-the-move turret, so it can
Let's do it.
shoot.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be the only ones that can do that. Like, I think other
Yeah.
boats are going to have to be stationary.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough
Yeah.
on your little boat.
Oh, well, we have a 42-foot boat too.
We can do it on both.
Yeah.
The 42-foot boat, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can put 2 turrets on that.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great industry. It's being an entrepreneur. Was this your first company?
First real, obviously did a lot of smaller stuff. I actually did a golf app when I was doing my MBA, but nothing compared to this.
A
right?
golf app?
Yeah, this is back in 2020, so I did my MBA.
Do you golf?
Very poorly, so that's why I did a
Nice.
golf app. So it used computer vision, post estimation. So I don't know if do you golf?
Yeah.
Or- have you been to
This
those
is my golf
studi-
simulator.
Yeah, I was telling him, I was like, this is sick.
I belong to Army Navy Country Club.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I do my biz dev.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the perfect place.
Yeah.
So have you worn those vests before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do that through just your phone, right?
Yeah.
And run it through a post estimation algorithm. And so about 5 years ago, 2020, when I was going to get my MBA, I made an app
Okay.
that just uses a post estimation, worked with a golf coach to give you immediate feedback, right?
Okay.
Like tilt, like head position, even like rotation. what I found out was that most of the people that are serious golfers and spending money, they're in the older range, and they don't want to like put their cell phone in front of them at the golfing range. Right?
Okay, so that was your first foray.
That was my first.
Everyone has their first failed startup.
Yeah. And the COVID happened, so that was also the thing. Yeah.
And then you went, okay, better plan. Let's make autonomous killer robot boats.
Yeah. So that's working out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, any other jobs besides entrepreneur?
Yeah, in between, I went to a couple of like Joby Aviation and a Regent, and just did BD there.
Joby?
Yeah, I was at Joby.
Okay, cool. I want to get one of those.
Yeah, soon, right?
When can we get one?
Well, I don't know if you can own one, but you can ride in one probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like your boats are further along product-wise than the Joby.
Oh, I don't know. So I don't have to deal with the FAA, right? So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I mean, working the sea in...
The Joby looks sweet.
It does.
But it's time for the population to get them.
I know.
So whatever management team, Joby, like, let's go. I want these...
Joe Ben, right?
I want these... I want to fly in one.
Yeah. I think it's just the FAA that's, the stickler here, right? I think a lot of Archer, all of those guys, I think they're ready to go. So I think it's going to be cool.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The FAA is taking too long.
Yeah.
We're going to be dead.
Hopefully not. Yeah, but it's easier, so that's...
Yeah, because if I die, I want it to be in a Joby. Crashing.
I don't know that they want you to say that.
I'm joking.
That's how passionate the demand is.
Yeah.
For a Joby.
Yeah. You're probably going to get a phone call.
Oh, no, whatever. I mean, people just are too serious these days. Like, everyone's so serious all the time. It's got to lighten up. Existence already sucks. Like,
wow.
Like, you got to lighten up. You got to joke about it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. For sure, dude. We're getting deep today. So that, I don't know how we got on joke. I don't even know how we got on this topic.
Oh, you asked me what other jobs I had.
Oh, yeah, jobs. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So entrepreneurship then for you is just like a calling?
Back when I was in the Navy, I got to like do a lot of wargaming and LVC type thing for the Pacific scenario. This is back in like 2013, 2015, and kind of got to see the problem, right? Like, all those war games that we kept losing. And that kind of, and obviously with a computer science background and an engineer background, it's like, hey, there's solutions for a lot of these problems that I'm trying to solve, right, in the Navy. Simple things like, I couldn't take an iPad with full flight into the jet, right? And my jet had no moving map, right? And like, if you just use full flight, it would increase the safety factor drastically, but because of stupid rules and things like that, to really get into like Silicon Valley's already solving a lot of these technical problems. And so that drove me like, I need to get out and try to help solve the problem from the outside.
Wow. Okay. Got it. And the only way to do that is through your own business.
Yeah, because it's hard, right? Because there's like,
because you need people. You need a lot of people.
You need people, and you need a vision, and you need full control, right?
Yeah. And So the structure of a business.
Yeah.
The corporate structure helps with the getting everyone in the same incentive alignment to do this problem.
Exactly. And assuming the risk, right? We just talked about it. So I assume the risk, with the idea and the vision and the execution, and then just so that the 70 people right now that they can run and sprint at actually executing and solving this problem.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
That's why we're so tired all the time.
I know.
The bag's under our eyes.
I think now it's just stress, right? I'm sure you're not sitting down there, building the turf, but you're thinking about.
We always joke. Do I have like a pimple here?
You do.
Okay,
in the middle.
That's my forehead gets really red as my stress goes up in the business. So like at DoorDash, like at Bebop, my last company, like when I was burning like $1.5 million a month, we were burning cash.
Yeah.
And like my forehead was full red. It was like gross. And then as soon as we sold the company, like within 2 weeks, all the acne was gone. It's crazy. Yeah, it's totally tied to just stress.
Yeah.
So this is like good data you can get. So now when you're doing partnership, when you're negotiating with me,
you should see, right? Is he stressed?
I just gave you like an insight into my psyche, so now you can use that against me.
I know.
In a future negotiation.
Yeah.
When we're talking revenue share.
Done. Yeah. I'm gonna remember this.
You can be like, okay, Steve's a little on tilt right now. Bro.
I got this.
Hey, Steve, you want to play?
Yeah. So there you go. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Partnership. I like to do like partnership deals in general. I think that's a good way to grow. Instead of like traditional like direct sales methods.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of founders don't like that, but I do. It's all like, it depends on the kind of founder you are.
Yeah.
Some founders like to hire salespeopeople and just like direct sell.
Yeah.
And some people like to go through partnerships.
Yeah.
And
Direct sales hard, right? As you know, in the DoD, just because
well, the direct sale is hard, but you have more control.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I don't have a lot of direct salespeople out there, like the partner could just be like, "Hey, we're going to use another system," and then you're at the whim of the partner.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah.
I think you can properly incentivize your partner to want to push your product. You know what I mean?
I think if in our case, right, if there is their customers already talking about counter UAS on USVs, right?
Exactly.
Our incentives are aligned, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think in this industry it's possible.
Yeah.
What you basically have to do, and we can just use my example, but there's tons of examples, not to just like talk ACS, but like exactly. So like the customer wants it anyway, and we're already marketing it heavily that it will do that. And you guys actually are the platform.
Yeah.
This is why investors take note. I'm going to explain to you why you should invest in Havoc so heavily.
done.
You're the platform. I've got a nice app on your app store. I got the gun turret.
Yeah.
And you're going to, get a revenue share and crush it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe some stock, some warrants.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of shit, a partnership. That's like a good way to do a partnership.
Yeah.
Align it up and then, get you paid.
Yeah.
But I think it's really possible in defense. And I think a lot of companies aren't doing enough of it.
Yeah.
And I think that if we saw more of that, that would actually also help the customer.
I agree. I think the customer wants us to do that, and then at the end of the day, also, right, the problems are so complex that I think it's wrong to think of us as the next primes, right? And like we're going to be Boeing and build everything.
Yeah.
Right. I think that probably worked out pre software defined hardware, right? But now what you're building is very focused, complex, and you all are very good at it, right? And we're very good at building autonomous vessels.
Yeah.
And so if we combine it, then we provide a full solution rather than like trying to do everything.
Of course. And then I guess the only investor objection would be, well, can this one product line then support a $50 billion company?
Yeah.
Like, what's your path to $50 billion?
Yeah.
Do you have your answer? What's your path to $50 billion?
Oh, we do, right? Our autonomous stack doesn't care what sits on, so we can expand out into UAVs, UGVs, partner with these companies and provide the collaborative autonomy stack.
Basically you're saying the software.
The software. It's a software.
Software will eat the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking if that's the right answer. It might be.
I don't know. We'll see, right? I'll tell you in a few weeks.
I know. I think it is actually the right answer. But as founders, we're always, we're shaping narrative.
Yeah.
Because there's like the narrative and like what's happening, and then there's like what's actually happening on the ground, which is like with your direct customers that you're selling to.
Yeah.
Like we play two totally different games.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very fractured experience, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel that way. But
I do feel, right, yeah. I think, for us, we try to say, as a software approach, one, I think that's like most things we build today are driven by software, right? So it just makes sense. And you can de-risk by software. In my case, it is, we're going towards like ships, right? I don't want to build the ship. There's no margins in shipbuilding. So if I can just provide the brains of the ship, I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you don't have to be so much CapEx either.
No, and then managing 1,000 people shipyard, that's a distraction for defense.
I've been on a lot of shipyards.
I bet you, right. So I mean, I think sometimes people oversimplify shipbuilding.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Hard.
Like if you've never stood in a shipyard and see the giant machinery involved,
the welding. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so hard. That's why it's so hard for us to build ships right now.
It is, right? And so that's the issue right there. So if you're a company claiming you're going to do that and you're also going to run a shipyard, it's like, and you're going to be great at autonomy, I don't know that you can do both, right? It's not a money issue.
It's so much, honestly, but also on top of that, it's like, I don't know if those people actually read their history books about there's major primes that used to run Newport News, Northrop Grumman.
Yeah.
They divested of this because it's awful running a shipyard.
It's just the management required, right?
Running a shipyard is. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of union workers, a lot of moving parts,
regulations,
very difficult thing to build. It's very hard. There's a reason people don't want to do it.
Yeah,
The gov-
and so that is my answer to like obviously you know who I'm talking about, but investors will be like, why not buy a shipyard? I'm like, no, I don't know, right? That I'm a innovative defense tech company, right? An innovative startup, right? Like I'm not in the shipyard
Yeah,
business.
it's really funny, like the like how the investors view competition. Because obviously we're talking about such massive markets here that it really doesn't matter.
No,
Like
no.
the competition doesn't really matter, but you still have to have like a narrative and answer for it,
Yeah,
even if it's like totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's just like part of that fractured experience.
yeah.
It's
So,
the game.
but, right now for us, because of the reconciliation bill, there's 3.5 billion there, and there's probably only a few of us that can actually service that, and so we're all gonna get a piece of it. And if you think about dividing that number by 3 or 4, that's still a crazy market there.
Yeah, no, I actually think there's like not a, my whole take on this is I actually think there's not a lot of competition in defense
No,
at all.
Yeah.
Because there's actually just so few products that actually even work.
Yeah.
So like if you got a product that works, you're not really competing with much.
No.
It's not like restaurant tech.
Yeah.
And like I had like 60 competitors in that industry, like 60.
Yeah.
And here there's like, I don't know, 1
Yeah.
something like or 2. Like you got like 2 competitors.
Yeah,
Like
like
it's just so few competitors.
Yeah.
Because there's such a high barrier to entry.
Yeah.
I mean, to do this well, think about it.
Yeah.
You got to be good at like lobbying.
Yeah.
You got to be good at like managing and running a team, building a complex robot.
Yeah.
You've got to be good at like fundraising.
Yeah.
Regulations, like management. I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Legal compliance.
Yeah.
Like everything's so hard.
Now you got me stressed.
No, I'm just saying that's our moat.
Yeah.
Our moat, and you're good at it. So yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, I expect those term sheets flowing.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a good. I mean, you really do have a good angle.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. So what's next? You hitting the road for fundraising, going to the Bay Area, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I've been traveling everywhere, and then right now, with all the funding flowing to USVs, it's mainly here, right? I come here a lot.
Yeah, you got to
get
get
ready.
with the reconciliation. Yeah. You've been talking a lot. You had to talk a lot to like the House Armed Services Committee and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had Mike Rogers at our ACS spot, like down
Really?
in one of our parties.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to come down.
No, you should co-sponsor one with us.
I would love
We
that.
can get a bunch of congressmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
And we won't charge you too much. Like,
Okay.
we'll just split the cost.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll
like
do it.
it's fine.
It's like $2 million happy hour, right? It's like, we'll
Yeah.
split the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything we do is baller, obviously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
We spare no expense
Yeah.
on marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing first.
Yeah. We're also going to put vessels in Austin. So, in a few months, we'll most likely have 5 of
really?
the rampages.
Oh hell yeah! Can I come see? I'm gonna,
Yeah. So you can have it for one of your parties.
yeah.
It can bring you, drinks.
The boat would fit in the penthouse. Yeah,
Oh,
it would actually. Yeah.
Wow.
We could do that. Yeah, that would be sick.
Can you imagine rolling the rampage into your penthouse?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do the party. We'll go to a bunch of government people there, House Armed Services Committee people. We'll get but yeah, no, reconciliation right now. It's like they're gonna have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's not appropriators.
No.
And so like it's even understanding all this stuff. Like it's hard for it's barrier to entry so massive.
Yeah.
Like I'm like calling down the list of like, hey, because the bill hasn't passed yet. Bill
No, it's in the Senate. Yeah.
BBB. It's the Big Beautiful Bill.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like it always reminds me of the Build Back Better bill, like the BB, because it's another BBB.
Yeah.
Like, did he do that on purpose? I think he
don't know.
might have, because the Build Back Better was like a Democrat one. It was like Biden, maybe. Or was
Yeah.
it?
It was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Biden's
I think maybe because he's President Trump's a marketing genius, so I think maybe Big Beautiful Bill, the alliteration, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what timeline we live in. That like, I was like watching Fox News or CNN the other day on TV, and like they're just talking about like random like senators, like distinguished gentlemen of our country,
Big beautiful
talking
bill.
about the Big Beautiful Bill. It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why it doesn't crack people up.
I think so, right? I mean, entertainment, right? Like there's an entertainment value
I mean,
there.
the level of like the way he communicates is so effective. Like as a fundraiser, professional fundraiser, like I get a lot of inspiration from him. He distills it down so simply. Actually, I heard this on a fundraising advice one time that there was like, what you really want is the BC to leave the room. And when they're at dinner that night with their friend or drinks, they're like, man, I just talked to Havoc.
Yeah.
It's the coolest fucking company. And then the friend goes, what do they do? And if they can say it in like 3 or 4 words, then that's how you had a good pitch.
Yeah.
Because most people can't remember anything.
Yeah.
Like they're getting pitched all the time.
Yeah.
They got all kinds of shit going on. You know, these guys, they got their kids. I
Yeah.
don't know. They can't just like think about your how.
No.
So you got to like distill it.
Oh, I hopefully we do a good job, right? At the
Yeah.
end of the day, I think what people are saying is we built lots of autonomous boats
Yeah,
that can
AI.
blow up things.
Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really, really keep it simple.
Yeah.
That's like I think, and Trump does. I mean, he does that masterfully, like
Yeah.
obviously all the time. So that's the big beautiful bill.
Yeah.
You know. So let's go get that reconciliation
I
money.
know, right?
What are some advice for entrepreneur or people trying to get that? Like, what give us the tips?
I don't know, right? I mean, right now you got to build autonomous boats.
Oh, because that's in the bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm saying
There's
the
a
process.
lot in the bill,
I'm saying
though.
the process
Yeah.
for capturing it because right now no one knows where the money's going.
Yeah.
Like, where is it going?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it, right? That's the challenge of lobbying, consulting. You know, obviously, it's not just the hill; it's the building, and then trying to like close the loop, right? So it is a lot of networking and communicating, right? Going back to what we were just talking about, how President Trump's a good communicator. I think that's the biggest thing. The challenge we have is, you know, they're also all busy.
Yeah.
Right? Even the people that are like focused on USVs, that's not just what they're focused on, right? They're focused on the
Yeah,
problem.
but like, let's get technical for a moment. Like the authorizers
Yeah.
are gonna authorize the money.
Yeah.
So are they going to like authorize it very specifically, or are they going to just give pockets of money to random PM groups?
I don't know, right?
No one knows.
No one knows. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to like play both games.
Yeah.
You have to assume both will happen.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what I would recommend. I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're doing that, right? We're talking to the Hill, we're talking to the PMs, we're talking to the Pentagon stakeholders, the requirements folks, and
Yeah.
then trying to close the loop.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, hopefully they take a lot of that money and send it to startups.
I hope
which
so.
I think
Right,
is
yeah.
the plan. I think the administration, I think that is part of their plan.
Yeah.
Like they want to help out a new wave of defense companies.
Yeah.
Like this is the time.
Yeah.
It's the era. That's why we're all here.
I know. Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I forgot to ask when we were talking earlier about the co-founders, but like, how'd you meet them?
So Joe and I, actually, he's good family
Joe
friends.
does what?
Joe is the COO.
Okay.
And then he was the nuclear.
Yep,
So,
and then- yep.
and then Andrew is the CTO. He's also a former FSOC pilot.
And he runs the technical.
He runs the
And
technical.
you still code some?
Yeah, at the beginning, Andrew and I, wrote a lot of code. Luckily, none of our code exists on the product now, as it
Good
should,
job.
right? Like the engineers have all rewritten it. But
Yeah.
this time last year, it was 5 of us, right?
Nice.
So we're spending 18-hour days coding.
Wait, this time last year there was 5 of
There
you.
were 5 of us. We
Now
had
there's 70?
1.2 million in pre-seed funding this time last year.
Holy shit!
Yeah, So, we did have 12 votes though this time last year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You guys have done a lot.
We have.
With
It's
very
been
little.
crazy.
Done a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, this, right? With commercially available stuff, that's what's changed, right? Is that, a team of 5 people with $1 million can build 12 autonomous vessels that work when, there are companies that are very much well-funded.
Did you like have the shipbuilding partner like lend you the boat? You didn't buy the boats, did you?
No, we bought the boats.
You bought the boats?
Right. And that's the beauty of, the again, like I was talking to you about earlier, the boats are only 5% of the product. And they cost 5% of the whole product,
Oh, okay.
right? So
Yeah.
it wasn't too much. Yeah.
Well, you're assuming. I mean, you're saying that it costs so little because of the full product percentage-wise, because the software development hours.
Yeah.
Like R&D costs.
Well, also the boats itself. I think I probably shouldn't say this. I'm gonna get in trouble. But like the vessels themselves are like $5,000-$6,000,
Oh yeah, those are nice.
right?
Nice.
Because like he's
that actually is perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also the same process as, I don't know if you sail like the lasers
Mhm.
or rockets. So those are fiberglass boats, right?
Yeah.
And they cost around that price point. Just because it's an autonomous.
Wait, first of all,
boat-
you're not going to get in trouble saying it.
Oh,
But second, 'cause
I'm
you're
not supposed to talk about prices.
Because you're the boss.
I know, that's true.
You're the boss.
Well, you know this though. The amount of people that are like, "Hey."
My team always tries to, ask to censor some shit
Yeah,
that I say
yeah.
on here, and I would say, "Fuck no,
No.
I don't care."
I don't curse, but I do say a lot of things I shouldn't. But going back to it, so that's the beauty, right? It's that to the boat builders, it's no different than those sailboats, right? Lasers and stuff.
Yeah.
And to them, like, they don't care that it's autonomous or it's robotic. Like, it's still just a boat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then that's where you met your co-founders.
Yep.
And that's the team.
Yep.
And what do you think like you would wish I have like kind of 4. Do you think you would have one, not to have one more, just to have one more, but is there like some sort of executive gap that you're like wishing to fill?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know,
This recruiting, this is the
like,
recruiting part of the podcast. Like if you're looking at for like an executive that you need to help fill like that leadership team.
surprisingly, we filled, both the chief revenue role and chief strategy
Oh, you did it
role
already.
with very capable people. I
Nice.
think they saw the value we provided. Then they jumped ship. You know,
Amazing.
one guy used to, the chief revenue officer was the DIU engagement lead
Uh-huh.
a few years ago. Our CSO actually just came from the Pentagon, wrote the Project 33 nav plan, helped write it,
Oh,
and
nice.
have created and have been, trying to figure out the hybrid fleet concept. They reached out and wanted to join us just
Yeah.
because of what they were seeing.
Well, who's your Palmer Lucky?
I don't know. I don't think we have one.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm trying to be.
I'm
I
the
guess.
Palmer.
Oh,
of my
you
company.
okay? Yeah, I tried to be.
Yeah, obviously I'm Palmer, and then
Yeah.
Mike Wire, our CEO, is Brian Schimpf,
Okay.
and then Luke, our CTO, is that one like Asian guy they had
Yeah.
at one point. They had like the, and then Eduardo is like the other. I mean, basically my whole strategy is I go to their leadership team page,
Yeah.
and I map 1-to-1 who everyone needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's how you invest.
that's how I build my team.
Oh, I see what you.
I just like go in there. Okay,
Yeah.
which executive do I need to hire today? And then if you go like Megan Millum, she's like their SVP of like.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to find my Megan
Yeah.
Millum. So I did that.
Yeah.
Hired like Katie Britt's
Yeah.
former chief of staff. Like I just go on their page and just grab whatever I need.
I mean,
They put it all right there for
exactly right, and even job descriptions and stuff.
you. Yeah.
right,
So
we kind of
I was like,
copy. Yeah.
yeah, if you just reverse engineer what they've done.
Yeah.
That's what you do, or that's
Yeah.
what I do. Great artists steal. Like I don't need to like reinvent the structure. of a great-
100% right.
I don't need to reinvent
Exactly.
this.
Yeah. So Palantir, Andro, all of those guys, Shio, they kind of help pave the way.
Yeah.
And they have been in the game for the last 5 years. So
Yeah.
we do steal. And then, same thing in software side, right? We're very big on like open source because like don't rewrite software that exists just to say you rewrote it. And that's why we're able to move faster, right?
Yeah.
I think some primes are averse to open source,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, the stuff that you wrote has only ever worked for like 5 hours,
Yeah.
whereas this open source thing has millions of hours. Of course, my stuff's going to work better than your
Yeah, of course.
5-hour tested
Of
thing.
course, you have to use open source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, yeah. So like that's how the reverse engineering of the company structure works. But it's a little harder because like obviously Palmer sold Oculus for like $2 billion,
I know.
and I only sold my
And
company.
now he's back, right, doing it?
Yeah, and I only sold my company for like 120 million.
Oh,
So
only.
I'm only like I'm a tenth of his skill set. I'm like so we're what 90% less effective than Andrew. That's my marketing team. You can't
Yeah,
say
he's
that.
like, they're editing this out right now.
No, they have to watch the joke. It's a bit.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
obviously I'm way better. I crush. All right, Paul. This is fucking awesome. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully you have me back.
Oh, definitely.
No.
Of course, you got to come back. Well, first of all, after the round, come back to announce the round. Well, you should probably announce it on like Technology Brothers. I'll get you. I mean,
Yeah.
Jordy's a friend of ours. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah, so go on Technology Brothers to announce. We'll get that set up.
Yeah.
They'll love that.
Yep.
And then we'll come back on for like the debrief of
Yeah.
how much fun it was to raise the
Yeah.
round. And actually, we can both debrief. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'll tell you about mine too.
All right, let's do
we
it.
can All right,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks. Appreciate it.